John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience. Hope all is well with all of you. And today, I would like to share Praise's report once again about my mother. You know, we are family-oriented people, and she's doing well. She's in Memphis at the business conference. And I'm over here at the Cumulon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one. One brick, one building, one block at a time. And like we often say, the only time you look down on a man is when you're picking him up. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Today, I would like to just share a few things. I was thinking about grace. If it wasn't for grace, where would we be? And that's once again caring, talking about caring. Because if God didn't care enough of us to give his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him would not perish but have everlasting life. And that's why, because of the love that he has for us, is why he has so much grace for us. Not because we deserve what we get a lot of times, but just because of his grace. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were just sharing some things and looking at, I was telling him about an incident with someone's family member where the mother talked about, she didn't necessarily talk about grace, but she was showing grace. A lot of times we wonder where the grace from or how do you get grace. It's not so much as how do we get it, it's people show grace like God shows grace. A lot of times we don't deserve what we get, but because of the grace that people have and that God has for us, we have a tendency. The family member told another family member and some friends that my dad would put me out, but my mama won't let him. And it wasn't so much as dad didn't care. Dad was trying to make a man out of him. Men make men's. Women have to build and make women. And you have to be strong. Men's are forceful. They are dependable. They are work people. They take care of things. They make sure the business and things get taken care of. Women, they take care and nurture and comfort and also try to make sure that everything goes smooth too. But that's why that grace come in, because the woman, she shows more grace. Because she's such a nurturer and she cares, she's so concerned about what goes on that she shows more so the grace in things and relationships than the man do. Because the man is trying to build character, make a stronger man out of that man child, and teaching them how to make man decisions, how to be dependable, how to earn and build and be responsible for himself and the things that he's doing. And that's where that grace come in. That grace, we have a tendency, we wonder sometimes, how did I get that? I didn't deserve it. I don't even know how, why did something like this happen to me? But it's the grace. Sometimes it's not just because we're so good, but because God is so good. He looks up on us and he smiles. He knows we have good intentions, and he looks at us, and just like the mother looks at her child and see hope. There's hope. She looks at her child, man or the young lady, and she see the hope. She see that there's hope, and we have to have hope. And believe that one day everything's going to be all right. This too will pass. Things will change. And they're going to change for the better. So we have to keep hope alive and think about stuff like that. Things can get better. It will get better. A lot of times in my life, and the Lord has showed me so much grace because I have been put in positions, not because I earned them, but because of God's grace. He showed me, looked at me, and he had grace and put me in the position to do the things that I've been able to do. To give me the grace of God to look at other people and see that there is hope in them, and to reach down and pick them up when they're falling down, instead of trying to put my foot on them or hold them and push them and leave them down there. He gives you that grace to pick them up when they're down. Try to show them a little strength when they're weak. Share, each one reach one, each one teach one. Like we often say, the only time you look down on a man is when you're picking him up. Have that grace that when you come up out of that barrel of crabs, to reach back and show some grace on the ones that's still down there. Not so much that they deserve it, because those are the same crabs at one time was pulling people back down. We wouldn't even try to help them get up. They was pulling them down. But we're going to keep hope alive and just trust and believe that a better day is coming, and those things will pass, and we're going to learn from the mistakes that we keep making. And by doing so, it will make a better world. It makes us better people. And we can just keep reaching and teaching and try to build relationships, try to help build businesses, try to encourage each other. Look at somebody and, just let them know you can do it, because my mom, she's going through some things right now, but she's a fighter. She asked me that I want to go to Mississippi, and I told her not right now. I didn't really feel like she needs to be doing any kind of traveling, but nevertheless, she went to the Memphis meeting, the April call meeting. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And that's a business meeting. And she's down there trying to sell candy, working and getting ready for the pastor's anniversary. She's a go-getter. She don't believe in giving up. She's a fighter. She's sick herself, but she's not thinking about her condition. She's not, woe is me. Don't you feel sorry for me? Look at me. Help me do this. She's reaching and still teaching and trying to encourage other people that you can do it. You can do this in spite of what you are going through, in spite of what she's going through. She's focusing and thinking about somebody else. How many of us think about that? Ask yourself the question. If you was all down and out and going through some changes yourself, how many times have you thought about it? To look back and see somebody else going through something and say, I would help them, but I'm going through something my own self. But to stop and not be selfish and think about yourself and look back and think about it, that person that's going through, you just reach back and grab them by the hand. My father say, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and keep hanging. And if it wasn't for God's grace, where would I be? Where would you be? Because a lot of times we get to the point where we can't do anything for ourselves. I know it when I was looking for a home. I didn't know exactly, I didn't have enough money. I didn't have the money that I needed to get it, to do what I needed to do. But the Lord gave me favors. He showed me grace and mercy. And he put things in my way to show me. He put people in my way. He began to let people help me, because the knowledge that I didn't have, a lot of times you don't have to have the knowledge, but if you know somebody, and then a lot of times the people that you know may not even have it, but they can know somebody. So sometimes they say, It's not what you know, or it's not what you can do, but who you know. So sometimes in the who you knows can make things happen for you. And a lot of times the who you knows find themselves doing things for you with no intentions of doing things for you, but they find themselves sometimes and wonder, why did I do that? But I like to just think and know in my heart that it's because the Lord put it in their spirit to give them reason or to give you favors. Because God's grace is his unmerited favors. He just, like I said before, things you don't earn, things you don't deserve, but God see fit and give it to you anyway. Sometimes it's just like a parent, a mother and a father. You know, because of the love that we have for our children, a lot of times we do things and no matter how bad they are, no matter what they do, sometimes we find ourselves doing things for them anyway, just to try to encourage them. Well, that's that grace. We give them that show them that grace because, and give them something to think about. So regardless to where you are, where you at, what state of mind you in, no matter what you have done, you can change. You can do something to turn your life around. You don't have to stay there in that position that you're in. You don't have to stay in your pity party. Hold your head up and pat yourself on the back. Encourage your own self that this too will pass. What I'm going through, tomorrow is going to be a better day, a brighter day, not only for me, but for everybody. And we should want it for everybody, not just ourselves. You know, like I say once again, you don't want to be selfish. You want to think about other people, and you want to treat people the way you want to be treated. Sometimes I tell people, it's okay to use people. And they repeat, what do you mean? Well, I don't mind you using me. I just don't want you to misuse me. Friends and people are to be used, not misused. And when you got people that you're trying to help, you got to know when to hold and when to fold. There comes a time when you just can't. You just got to let go. And when you keep helping people, and the people that you help, and when you need them is not there for you, sometimes you have to make that pimp decision. You got to know when to hold, when to fold, and sometimes you have to make a decision to just run. And making those decisions, once again, you have to think about things. Think about your decisions. Think about things before you do it. Not after you do it, but before you do it. Think about the things you're going to say before you say them. You have to be careful for nothing. Because the last thing you want to do, me and anyone else should want to do, is to purposely hurt someone's feeling. That's why you should think about things before you say it. Think about things before you do it. And remember, treat people the way you want to be treated. This is Jonh Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, and think before you leap. Have a great day, and thank you for listening.
Jonh Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.